I have the pleasure, and I think the topic hydrogen will still be with us when now we will listen to our next speaker, Khalid Benhamou, who is the Managing Director of Sahara Wind, which is aiming at developing wind power in particular in Morocco. But Khalid, I'm sure you will not only talk about Morocco, but also about the neighbor countries. And yeah, Khalid, you are also, let me mention that the treasurer of the World Wind Energy Association. This is your voluntary position. We're very pleased to have you now here with us. And now the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Stefan. I don't know whether you can see my presentation.
Not yet.
Okay, I'm trying to share it, and I'm trying to see how I can share it. Let me see. Where is the sharing option on Zoom?
Bottom usually. Share screen.
I said, yeah, it's clicked here. Okay, yes. Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. And I am almost there.
Coming.
Yes. So I will talk about the power market in Morocco mainly, and obviously this is the most dynamic market in the Maghreb region if we include Tunisia, Algeria, and Mauritania. And to that aim, I will basically go very rapidly through what's been achieved to date. Morocco started right after Egypt, installing the first large-scale wind farms from the year 2000 all the way to today. We have about 1.4 gigawatt installed. Most recently, there has been a 200 megawatt wind farm, which has been commissioned on the January 7th. It's part of the Morocco's integrated wind energy program of about 1 gigawatt, 850 megawatts. And we have further wind farms that are going to be put online in the coming months, if not years, so that by the year 2023, we are likely to end up with a 2.6, 2.7 gigawatt wind farm portfolio, operating wind farm portfolio. As you can see, there are a variety of frameworks from private, IPPs, EPC publics, and successful law 1309, which enabled the private sector to feed in industrial power loads with renewable electricity, having a direct contract with energy consumers that will be provided with green electricity. And this is really to tap into Morocco's significant wind potential, which is estimated onshore at about 6,000 gigawatt. It's tremendous. And with the productive potential of 11,500 terawatt hours. So compared to Europe's 3,500 terawatt hour global consumption, this is quite significant. The capacity factors, thanks to the trade winds blowing on the Sahara coastline, are significant. We're talking about capacity factors of above 60, 70% in some occurrences. So that enables you to produce.
Khalid, you're muted. Khalid, for some reason you're muted. We cannot hear you.
Yeah, for some reason it says somebody muted me. So.
Now it's back. Yeah, it happened, obviously. I don't know why. It happened to me as well. Please continue.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, what I was saying is that Morocco has the potential to produce very competitive wind electricity. It has proven that in 2016 by already signing what was back then the world lowest wind electricity cost of about 3 cents per kilowatt hour, which included the transfer of the wind blade manufacturing factory, 80% dedicated to export. It's currently being doubled even. And a very high, up to 70% of local component integrative ratio of local worth of the wind farm. So this is really a success story thus far that we look forward to expand on. This has obviously led to a market consolidation of manufacturers where Siemens Gamesa is basically the main supplier of Moroccan wind energy projects. In 2020, we have obviously had a slight drop of about 3 to 4% of wind energy generations. We had a little bit less wind. This is likely to be increased significantly in the year ahead. And basically, we produced about 4,500 gigawatt hours of electricity out of a total of 38 gigawatt hours, 38,000 gigawatt hours. Mostly 67% of that load of Morocco's electricity is still coal-fired power generation. And renewables are gradually filling the gap. We are right now, our target of 2020 was to reach 42% of renewable electricity. We're at 36% right now, so we're a little bit behind, but we aim to reach we have another target for 2030 that is 52% renewables by 2030, and we're likely to reach this capacity by 2026. And so we're looking at reviewing upwards the renewable energy targets by 2030. And this target can also be exceeded by the tremendous power to X prospects that Morocco has. Obviously, and I will highlight that in the next slide, Morocco has interconnections with Spain that will be expanded and with Portugal. The Moroccan utility experienced obviously some load challenges with the COVID-19 crisis, with the drop in electricity consumption and the delayed payment of electricity bills. There's been some positive regulatory signals that have been sent, mainly for large-scale projects, and looking at funding both large-scale projects and the integrative prospects of generating green power as well as green molecules. And the main challenge is really right now for Morocco to be able to transfer the excess generation capacity. The majority of the wind electricity is generated on the Sahara coastline, which is about 1,200 kilometers from Morocco's electricity loads located further north. And so that is why the idea here is to look at substituting, first of all, Morocco has 72% of the world phosphate reserves. It's a paleontological footprints of the trade winds. And the phosphate are processed into fertilizers. And for that industry, Morocco imports about 1.8 to 2 million tons of gray ammonia every year to supply global fertilizer markets, to which it has about 20% market shares. And so the idea is to use then the outstanding wind resource to produce green ammonia, obviously from wind electrolysis, to produce green hydrogen. And only in doing so, Morocco has the potential to add about 6 gigawatt of wind power to its current wind energy portfolio. And with that scale, we know that we will be able not only to transfer further wind manufacturing industries, but also power high voltage direct current power lines to feed into Moroccan load centers and enable power exchanges with our northern neighbors and our southern neighbors in Mauritania that are also implementing wind energy projects. There is a 100 megawatt wind farm right at the border with Morocco, near the city of Nouadhibou, that is being Boule Noir specifically, that is going to be commissioned in the coming months. And this will enable this country to scale up its wind portfolio and also look into the prospects. Mauritania's main industry is the export of iron ore. And there is obviously the great potential of being able to process iron ore into pure iron, into carbon emission-free steel. And this is a scalable process that can be done. And for that, Mauritania has outstanding wind resources. Obviously, the technology is still being developed in Europe as part, obviously, of the Green Deal and the hydrogen strategies of both the European Union, the German, French, and various countries' hydrogen strategies. But it is obvious, I mean, I think with confidence we can say that by the year 2025, those technologies will be available for Mauritania to be able to substitute actually the export of iron ore into steel products. Iron ore represents about 70 to 75% of Mauritania's budget revenues, and these are likely to be tremendously increased if the local value can be enhanced. And obviously, if you can enhance the local integration of wind using these hydrogen processes, you're obviously firming the electricity locally, and you will then be able, Mauritania will be able to feed very cheap wind electricity from the Saharan coastline down to sub-Saharan Africa, where there is a big demand for electricity. And that, in essence, will conclude my presentation at this. And I'm happy to take any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Khalid, for, I think, really showing us some impressive numbers. I mean, the market for wind power in Morocco itself sounds still modest compared to the global market size, but then also doubling the share in the near future is impressive. And of course, the potential you're talking about, that sounds very, very, very impressive with, you said 600 terawatt of wind potential just in Morocco alone.
It's 6,000 gigawatts
6,000, I'm sorry,
of
yeah.
potential.
Yeah, that is really an impressive number
indeed. And yeah.
So we don't need to worry about the amount of energy that we have.
Yes, absolutely. It provides prospects for an energy transition that will probably cover both North Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, as well as Europe. And we look forward to that happening, hopefully sooner rather than later. We have a 2050 deadline to meet, and I think it's time to work as soon as possible on that. And I think Moroccan authorities are very much aware of that.
Very good. Thank you so much.